I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting now is the Limefinger, the Learnings Watervale Riesling 2020. That comes from the Clare Valley. So, Limefinger is the name of this wine, and this is probably a name that is not known to very many people in the wine world, especially the Riesling world, but it's probably going to become more familiar to you because the winemaker of this wine is a man called Neil Pike, who was one half of the team of brothers who established Pike's Wines in Clare Valley in the early 80s, and he has now branched out on his own. He's retired from Pike's, the family winery, last year, I think it was, and he's gone out on his own. This is his first, actually I think it might be his second Riesling under the Limefinger label. And you might deduce from the name, which is the Learnings, that this wine is, I guess, intended to encapsulate everything that Neil has learnt in 40 years of making Riesling, which is a long time. 40 vintages of making Riesling, he knows quite a bit about the business. The difference between this wine and his previous wines, I guess, is the sub-region. They're all Clare Valley, but this comes from the Watervale region, which is in the central part of the Clare Valley, where the limestone soils are thought to give special character to the wine, whereas the Pike's wines come from the Polish Hill River sub-region, which is out to the east of the main north-south road through the Clare Valley. And out there they have a slaty soil, which gives slightly different flavours to the wines and slightly different structure to the wines. This is a single vineyard wine and Watervale, and you would expect from Neil's great experience in the Clare Valley that he has put a lot of thought into selecting the vineyard that he wants to take his grapes from. He's very secretive about which vineyard it is, probably because he doesn't want other people to come along and pinch them, but they're obviously very good grapes. So, what does this wine taste like? Limefinger Riesling from the Watervale region of the Clare Valley. Pick up the glass, and the first thing you notice is extremely pale colour. And when I look at a colour that pale, I think, well, this is a wine that has been produced with a view to ageing, which would not surprise me because the Clare Valley is famous for wines that age, and the Pike's style was always a wine that aged beautifully. But that is quite pale for a wine, for a 2020 vintage wine. Let's have a sniff. And again, the nose, as you might expect from the colour, is very restrained, very reserved, very shy and undeveloped. So there's not even the first hint of toastiness coming into it yet. It's still fresh and primary and immature, if you like. It's got floral aromas, it's got spice, it's got even a hint of cinnamon there. Baked lemon pudding, I've written in my notes. And a creamy yeast character too, which is quite typical of a very young Riesling. It'll lose that as it ages a bit longer. There's definitely a minerally sort of character about this wine, more than a floral character. And that's a perfectly legitimate expression of Riesling. Let's have a taste. A very, very tight, restrained, refined, delicate Riesling. In fact, perhaps a lot of people would taste that and think, oh, gee, that's a bit young yet. That wine will improve a great deal with a bit of age. So how do we rate this wine? We rated it 93 out of 100, which is a strong silver ribbon score. And its ranking was number 10 out of 33 2020 Rieslings from the Clare Valley. I reckon that wine is, if I tasted it again in another 5 or 6 years, I would probably give it a higher score because it's just a baby, that wine. It's not really showing its true potential. It's showing its potential, but it's not really showing its true value at this point. It's so tight and so restrained. So I would keep that for a couple of years and as I said before, drink it for up to 12 to 15 years, no problem. A lovely wine indeed. So, what would we serve this wine with? We did ask the winemaker, Neil Pike, what he would prefer to serve it with. I always think with a style of wine like that, anything to do with the sea would be great, from sushi and sashimi right through to a baked fish pie, or just a simple piece, a fillet of fish fried in the fry pan. Neil has said seafood paella, and I think that would be excellent. Not a problem. It would go really well with seafood paella, risotto, anything like that. No problem. Lovely. Cheers to that, and to the future of Limefinger wines.